You have people being bombarded by kind of the same images of the same people.
Most of the world doesn't all look like this narrow standard.
It's virtually impossible to achieve without plastic surgery.
Well, now we have lunchtime injections, Botox, fillers, laser procedures that there's no downtime.
Oh, wow, you can't tell it at all, eh? Have you heard about butt implants?
It's pretty ridiculous.
It's a positive thing to do.
If I regretted anything, it would probably be not going a little bit bigger.
Who wouldn't take advantage of the surgery? Why wouldn't you do it?
People don't like to feel their mortality. That's like some scary stuff.
Who doesn't want to live forever?
We're all gonna become an old wrinkly apple.
No, they have Botox.
We all want to stay young forever.
There's an entire industry that is talked into being dissatisfied with ourselves.
But we live in a world full of noise.
Celebrity diets and detox.
Of science versus pop culture. I'm here to change that. What good is cheating death if you can't be young and beautiful? Fueled worldwide by popular culture, we are constantly bombarded with images of beauty and perfection.
Look at all the magazine, everybody's so perfect, everything's been airbrushed, and everybody thinks, oh my gosh, that's how I have to look.
This isn't new. Painting faces, tightening corsets, binding feet. No price is too high for beauty. So what happens as technology allows us to literally reshape our faces and bodies into whatever beauty standard is currently trending? What social and biological factors create our definition of beauty? And how far are we willing to go to achieve it? My goal is to show you why these questions are important, why this affects you no matter where you are, and to truly examine what the consequences of our obsession with youth and beauty really means. And that's what brought me here.
Please welcome Timothy Caulfield.
Today we're going to talk about a phenomenon that is becoming more and more popular really all over the world, cosmetic surgery. And why not? Because you know what? It's remarkable, but beauty matters.
5만 년 전부터 사람의 기륭화복을 알아보는데 하나의 도구로 썼던 거는 결혼하셨나요?
I'm married. I'm very happily married to a beautiful woman.
아, 그런데 여기가 이렇게 꺼져 있으면 자꾸 이렇게 떨어질 일이 생겨요.
I do travel an awful lot.
그래서 여기 이렇게 된 부분을 볼록 이렇게 세우면 외로움이 줄어들어요. 그다음에 여기 이 머리가 이렇게 타원형이에요. 이분은 이렇게 타원형이어서 그러니까 이렇게 타원형이어서 이런 분들은 그 생각을 할 때 굉장히 이과적으로 합리적 사고를 하는 분석적이면서 합리적 사고를 하는 분이에요. 그런데 이제 이마가 넓기 때문에 그 말하는 직업으로 쓰셔야 돼요.
It's a cliché, but it's true. First impressions matter. We react on an evolutionary level to markers like symmetry, youthfulness, even how much people smile. So of course, people blessed with traits that we deem beautiful have certain advantages.
If you look at what the data actually says, attractive people make more money.
근데 디칭이 됐기 때문에 이분은 사회적으로 잘 나갈 수 있는 기본의 틀을 가지고 있어요.
They're viewed as more moral and more intelligent. They're viewed as better teachers and better students.
그러면 이마가 이제 넓기 때문에 그러니까 3등분 중에 이마가 넓기 때문에 공부를 많이 했을 것이다.
They have better sex and they're happier and they're more satisfied. This is called the beauty bias.
The data shows that people who are good looking are more likely to make more money, they're more likely to be hired than people who aren't.
The benefits are like sort of across the board, unless you're a murderer, right? The juries don't like...
No, they don't like pretty women murdering, but that's fair. I'll take that. That's okay.
youthful characteristics, athleticism, appearance, all those things are very much valued in our culture.
People view people who are a little bit older as somebody that has possibly less energy, less motivation.
What do you think is a good age to start thinking about plastic surgery?
80s.
80s?
Well, it depends on how comfortable you are with your own skin.
Maybe around the 20s or something like that.
The 20s?
Yeah.
I don't think older people are valued, and the better you look, the more responsive people are to you.
I think the age is getting younger and younger. Even some teenagers are going for cosmetic surgery now.
Would you care if your daughter got cosmetic surgery?
Probably not. Now, having said that, she's mentioned about getting a tattoo, and I'm against it.
What do you think is the age in society where people start worrying about how they look? Looking too old.
At the age of mine.
Right away.
Well, it's about affordability as well. I think things have gotten cheaper for the mainstream. A tube of Botox is a lot less than what it was, say, 10, 20 years ago.
That's right. When we could have used it.
There's still time.
There's many industries in which youth is idealized. More and more, you can be 40 and age out of an industry.
So people turn to cosmetic surgery in order to stop the clock a little bit and say, I'm still in the game.
When you look younger, sometimes you feel better.
This competition to be perceived as more youthful and more beautiful has resulted in an industry that is valued at over $20 billion a year, and it's growing. But cosmetic surgery had more humble roots.
The popularity of cosmetic surgery really starts after World War I, in which there was an international effort to do reconstructive surgery on the war front because there was a lot of battle injuries, young men having facial injuries. So the surgeons from the United States and Europe worked together to perfect these surgical techniques. And then after the end of World War II, there were all these trained surgeons. And so what are they going to do? So then they started popularizing elective plastic surgery. So rather than being something to fix a deformity or an injury, it becomes something that people do to just look better. So it's not really until the 60s and 70s that you start seeing, people talking about facelifts or refreshers. Mm-hmm. And it's only really, I think, in the 90s that you see a really sharp uptake in average people getting cosmetic surgery. If you think about 1970 in the United States, you have 3 channels. You have lots of magazines, lots of newspapers, but you don't have advertising on every single inch of public space, right? The billboards on subway turnstiles, in the bottom of the bins you get at the airport, really working its way into so many parts of our lives.
The explosion of media images changed that significantly. Hundreds of channels, thousands of magazines, photos everywhere.
Where does this beauty bias come from? How do we decide who is attractive? How do we decide what these sort of beauty norms are? Well, of course, pop culture plays a huge role in it.
Idealized images of female beauty have been deeply influential in American society for decades. Right now, the aesthetic is this highly made up, ultra feminine, very provocative look, something that's virtually impossible for people to achieve without plastic surgery or without enormous amounts of makeup. Celebrities, their full-time job is looking good. They spend thousands and thousands of dollars on everything from massages and yoga instructors to facials and designer clothes. It's a full-time job. It's not something that the average person can achieve.
If they're looking for role models, they're going to see celebrities naturally, and they're going to want to emulate them, and they're going to want to try to change their appearance.
But here's the thing about all those images you see.
These norms are not realistic, and there are illusions on every level, right? There are illusions on every level. I know everyone here probably realizes they're not realistic, but the degree to which these images are not realistic, I think we need to remind ourselves.
Even when you take a beautiful actress or a beautiful pop star, if you put her on the cover of a magazine, the magazine is photoshopped. So you're not just comparing yourself against somebody who's a professional beauty, you're comparing yourself against a digital image that literally does not exist. There literally is no one on earth who looks like that.
Please, allow me to illustrate.
Take off my glasses?
Let's set aside world-class photographers and thousands of dollars in professional lighting and camera gear. Photo editing is just as much a part of the process as clicking the shutter.
She's just cleaning up my face, and holy cow, does it ever need it? It's never a good idea to look at a high-definition, high-definition
shot of your face.
A natural face has blemishes, freckles, moles, hair, but that's not the look we want.
Every one of those clicks represents some failing in my face. Click, click, a lot of clicking around the mouth. It's almost like a video game. You get points for all the human flaws that you can erase. Fixing the bump on my nose. Oh, they don't like my distinctive forehead. I don't blame them. I am 3% Neanderthal, so.
And just like that, a whole new me. Nothing too extreme, just enough to remove my faults.
As you can see, they've got rid of some wrinkles here. Got rid of my dimple in my chin. I kind of like my dimple. I don't know why I got rid of that. See, also around the eyes a little bit too. Sort of a general kind of de-aging has happened here. I don't recommend that you try this at home because I don't think it does a lot for your confidence.
You're always going to be comparing yourself and falling short, and I think that's really damaging in the long run.
To choose somebody to put into a painting is sort of a statement about that person, and they represent a certain standard of beauty that I see.
We are a society that is completely obsessed with the idea of beauty and what beauty is supposed to look like. So you have this pressure to be beautiful, but the other pressure is to look young, to not wrinkle, to not age.
People don't like to feel their mortality. That's like some scary stuff. You don't really see a lot of elderly people around telling you, hey, this is awesome. You see things like Depends commercials and like people in old folks' homes and like people helping old ladies to cross the street, and you're like, God, I don't want to be that person.
The cultural machine that America is so powerful that it kind of has this like impact, you know, around the world, and like what Americans think are like ideals get pushed, you know, into like the furthest corners of the world.
So why do I have this picture of Kate Middleton up here? Kate has the perfect nose. That's the nose that we're all supposed to have. It is a pretty fabulous nose, no doubt about it. But because of Kate Middleton's fame, this has become the favored nose.
And it has sparked a huge plastic surgery boom to get that nose.
Popular culture frames and tells us what we're supposed to look like. Popular culture is our culture. When you think celebrities and plastic surgery, who comes to mind?
Ooh, Pamela Anderson. Not the face, but the body.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Kylie Jenner. Kylie Jenner. With the lip.
Kind of looks like Schwarzenegger had some done.
Yeah?
I was looking at the Governor. Yeah, he's looking smoother than he used to.
Anybody who's in front of a camera, I think, you know, has to consider plastic surgery.
Nowadays, I don't even know the names of the stars, so I couldn't talk about that.
So let's ask your daughter, when you think celebrities and cosmetic surgeries, who do you think about?
Probably not going to be a shocker, but the Kardashians for sure.
Who started the butt implant? Where did that come from?
Kim Kardashian.
Kim Kardashian.
Everyone wants a Beyonce butt. Or a J-Lo.
We're always going to be looking at the media as, ooh, I want to look like her, I want to do that.
Back in England, most of the women want to have a smaller butt, not a bigger one. Yeah, beggars belief, really. It's crazy.
Is celebrity culture having an impact in Belgium and in France?
I don't have one specific celebrity who has an impact on me, but some celebrities will have impact on my friends, and then I get pressured by my friends to do what they do.
Do you know what the most popular nose is?
Oh,
Where are you from?
England.
Okay, that's my clue.
Charlotte Crosby.
No, Kate Middleton. Kate Middleton's nose is the most popular nose. She's got a fabulous nose.
Oh my God.
You think that's funny?
Despite the rise in popularity, traditional cosmetic surgery is still somewhat taboo, at least in North America.
You don't necessarily know that people have gotten cosmetic surgery. People are under the radar with it, especially celebrities.
But as technology progresses, invasive surgery becomes less necessary. And celebrities endorse hundreds of these non-invasive procedures, skin treatments, and anti-aging schemes. Everything from bee sting Botox to bird poo facials are marketed as the secret to getting that movie star look.
There's plenty of types of cosmetic surgery now that are less invasive that lots of people will engage in, and those people might not have been willing to get like a nose job, but just going to a dermatologist and having an injection seems like a fairly benign thing.
What's the most popular kinds of procedures that you're seeing now?
Most people who come to me don't want to look so different. They just want to look a little bit better. I find myself trying to talk people out of having facelift surgery a lot. It used to be that was the only option there was. 40 and 50 years ago, we didn't have all these things. Well, now we have so many things. Call them lunchtime peels, lunchtime injections, Botox, fillers, laser procedures that there's no downtime. Like, forget the nose jobs, forget the whatever. If I can make your skin look good, you're gonna look good.
These procedures are pushed by celebrities and embraced by people throughout the world, often without a second thought. But how much science is there behind these treatments?
Less and less people are wanting to do more drastic things. I mean, I know I would never do Botox or fillers. Definitely not a facelift. This is a great alternative because it's not invasive.
You know what I use on this face, on this mug?
What do you use?
Cheap soap.
There you go.
Now, you look so young already that
I'm 41.
Oh, really?
Yes. I'm proof that it works.
It's kind of enhance what you have. And I told you, this is like a natural way. I think people are definitely getting into more natural, more healthy.
This natural way consists of using 2 metal rods to zap your face repeatedly.
So, you know, your own body has electricity. With age, you know, your electricity slows down. That's why you start seeing a little bit sagginess in your skin or loose skin or wrinkles. So the electricity is replenish your own electricity. So what I do, I go through all her facial muscles, taking it one by one and tighten up the muscles. So that's why she see the result. It gets nice and firm.
But is the evidence there? While it may have a short-term effect, our faces don't sag because of weak muscles. They sag because as we age, our face loses volume and the connective tissue, collagen. We can't exercise the muscles in our face to reverse sagging and wrinkles.
I'm a little jealous here.
Come
I want
here.
to...
You're not going to feel it.
You should try yourself.
Oh, wow, you can't
see
tell
it
it at
now?
all, eh?
Yeah.
She's all done?
Here you go, Vanessa. Yes.
Yay.
I look so rosy.
Almost more than any other area, there's a crazy amount of noise in popular culture, and there are few independent sources of information. Doctors are selling this stuff. Magazines advertise this stuff. The public wants it to work, and there are very few voices on the other side. And as you'll see, the treatments are becoming more and more extreme.
This is the very first photograph of a human being. For most of human history, we didn't really have that many images of others. You compared yourself to people in front of you, not to images. Fast forward to today, and we all carry around with us social comparison machines.
The popularization of smartphones and always-present internet access has resulted in a social media explosion. Facebook boasts more than 1.6 billion users. Instagram has over 600 million. People from all over the world can share images instantly. What began as a grassroots group of social cliques has become home to the world's newest celebrities and trends.
There is a different sense of authenticity with social media that is what I think people really respond to. We don't expect someone like Jennifer Aniston to be relatable, but we look at somebody like an Instagram star, and I think we presume that what we're seeing is more authentic. Regular people just like you, and they have these feeds that look really beautiful and perfect, like wonderful vacations, healthy meals, you know, beautiful children, a gorgeous home. But many of those are just as staged.
Celebrities, look, they own social media, right? It's their domain. In fact, I think it's fair to say that the Kardashians own social media. Kim Kardashian has 90 million followers, and if you look at the top 20 lists, it's a Kardashian family reunion. The Kardashians are everywhere, and so they're constantly framing how we think about beauty, how we think about how we're supposed to look. This does have an impact in the context of cosmetic surgery.
One of the best examples of this is when Kim Kardashian tweeted a selfie, which helped to create the most sought-after anti-aging process on the planet, the vampire facial.
Vampires are supposed to live very long lives. Who doesn't want to live forever? There are lots of women out there who are very averse to Botox or fillers. This is one of the ways by which they can rejuvenate the skin. It's your own blood. It's a very natural process.
This natural process begins by inflicting hundreds of tiny punctures in a patient's face. The process is called microneedling. The purpose is to allow what's next to easily penetrate the skin.
What if I don't draw the blood? Please help me, God. Please help me.
Well, that's really reassuring.
Well, I'm not a venipuncturist. I'm a doctor. It's got a nice vein there. I think we'll be good here. A vampire facial is drawing blood from the patient's veins. Perfect. Bingo. This is the blood. And I'm going to spin it now in a centrifuge to separate the red blood cells from the plasma. Beautiful. So this is the platelet-rich plasma. And then the plasma, which is kind of yellowish in color, is then activated by putting it in this red tube. We draw it out through a syringe and put it in a sterile container, and then use this brush to paint it on the face. The channels are already opened, and so just going to paint it. How are you doing, Marlene?
Good. Is that smell from the platelets?
Yeah, it does have a little smell.
It had a pleasant scent. It created quite a healing image in my mind. I don't want to ever have to go under a knife.
In a few days, she'll notice a really nice improvement in texture and tone.
Mentally, the whole idea that it's from my own body is very appealing.
And we are done. Yay! I did it!
As with many anti-aging procedures, there's very little solid scientific evidence to back this up. The small studies that have been done show minimal to no effect from the platelet-rich blood. So why are so many people lining up for these unproven treatments?
It's a positive thing to do, and I will continue to do procedures like this so that I can look in the mirror and see smooth and radiance. Oh.
Do you guys know what the #1 or the fastest growing form of cosmetic surgery is now? It's butt surgery. That's right. And that's because of one data point. That data point being Kim Kardashian.
I've always I've always had a really flat butt, and it's made me really insecure in the way that anyone would be insecure about something that they don't like on their body. I saw the opportunity to enter this contest, and I submitted a story basically just explaining how people would tease me and say, roses are red, violets are black, why is your butt as flat as your back? My 10-year high school reunion is actually next month, so I thought it would be perfect timing if I wanted to submit to this, and I submitted and I won. So I get a new butt.
If somebody's feeling, say, dissatisfied with their life or their relationship or their sense of self, it's very unlikely there's just going to be one thing that they can change that's going to make enough of a difference.
Most of my patients certainly have very realistic expectations. I find a lot of patients desire to undergo an aesthetic procedure to be practical.
Honestly, it'll just give me this outward confidence that I've never even had, even when I was at my skinniest, because I always thought if I was skinny, I would just be happy, but it's more my shape, because my shape is so weird.
Even if they do feel a little bit better about one thing, then the next thing kind of takes the center stage. I think, unfortunately, a lot of people think, well, they want something that can quickly fix how they feel about themselves. They can get a procedure, and then they're gonna feel great about themselves, and it doesn't always happen.
I've gone from being really underweight to like overweight and like bouncing around, because no matter what, I don't really love the shape of my body.
For people who are prone to compare themselves to others, I think social media can exacerbate that. I think if you're like a very confident person who doesn't compare yourself to others, then looking at an Instagram feed is going to have no effect on you. But if you're someone who maybe is insecure and you're looking at these feeds of beautiful people, I think that can make you feel bad about yourself.
I don't know, I've never really loved my body before, so just the thought of being able to is kind of like, well, it's gonna be so different, but like in a good way.
Our preoccupation with beauty crosses borders, but how we define that beauty And what level of pursuit we find acceptable is hugely dependent on culture. While cosmetic procedures in North America are still somewhat private, there's nothing hidden about them here in South Korea, the epicenter of cosmetic surgery.
This is Gangnam, and it's really insane. Virtually every sign that you see is a plastic surgery office.
Gangnam is the Beverly Hills of Seoul, boasting a very well-off population and some of the country's biggest corporations. And it's all new. Before early 1980, Gangnam was one of the least developed areas of Seoul. But now...
There are over 1,000 surgeons in this area alone, and they're busy with patients from all over the world. There's a little bit of money around, there's no doubt about that.
We have this old saying in Korea, what looks good tastes good. Like, there is an apple, it's very red, it's very pretty. And there's an apple that's green and like it has dots on it. What would you choose?
I'm taking the nice red apple.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
People come from all over the world for various surgeries, but the clientele is mostly Chinese tourists and Korean locals.
Last year, we have over 50,000 people from all over the world visit Gangnam for medical tourism.
What percentage of Korean women have had some kind of cosmetic surgery, would you say?
1 in 3 have undergone the plastic surgery. We get more and more patients every day.
때문에 주로 미국이나 유럽이나 브라질에서 남미 같은 경우에서 수술하는 경우는 주로 바디 컨투어링이나 브레스트 서저리가 많고요. 한국은 작은 수술들이 더 많아서 한국의 퍼센트가 좀 더 높지만
동양 사람들은 대부분 이제 코를 높인다거나 아니면 이제 눈을 크게 한다든지 쌍꺼풀 수술을 더블폴드 수술을 원한다든지 그다음에 얼굴에 안면 윤곽 수술, 뼈 수술로.
Tell me about this setup here.
Some people are concerned about their skin complexion. They can get the facial skin test. It's also for free.
I've been told I have terrible, terrible pores. Will this machine confirm that?
Let's do it.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. Please close your eyes. Ready? Don't move, please.
All right, how bad is it?
Uh-oh.
See, I heard uh-oh.
Take photos, analyze pore and wrinkle image, pigmentation, and spots in UV. So in deep your skin, there's some pigmentation on your face. You have a little bit oily skin.
That's bad.
Pigmentation is so-so, but you have a lot more pigmentation in your deep skin.
So even though we can't see this right now, it could cause problems in the future.
Yes, and then your forehead and mouth, there's some deep wrinkles. So maybe filler treatment help you to look better.
I could just stop worrying. What is it about in the Korean people that make them so much more open to the idea of cosmetic surgery?
Korea has very competitive culture, like everything, they have to fight for it. And if they have prettier face and younger looking face, it's better and it's easier for them to get the goal they wanted.
They'll take anything that gives them that advantage, that helps them to be more competitive.
Anything. Trust me.
We're all gonna become an old wrinkly apple.
No, they have Botox.
Korea is the country that does the most procedures per capita. They do it for all the same reasons that other countries do it, because of appearance and because of an internalization of social media. But also what's happening in Korea is there's a greater acceptance of cosmetic surgery. It really has been kind of normalized there.
모델 활동을 하다가 이제 저의 단점을 보완하고자 해서 수술을 이제 하게 됐어요. 25살이요.
그러니까 주변에 보고 이제 결정했어요. 이제 여기 필러, 팔자주름 없애는 필러랑 이제 여기 사각턱 보톡스, 그다음에 여기 턱 밑에 필러 받았어요.
저는 일단은 코랑 그리고 이제 얼굴에 지방 이식 수술을 하게 됐고요.
눈에 밑에 이제 다크서클 내려온 거, 이제 하얀 거, 여기 눈 찢어서 눈 처진 거, 상한 거.
예뻤었을 때 그 모습을 항상 기억하고 간직하고 싶으니까 그래서 나이가 들어도 계속 시술이나 뭐 꼭 성형이 아니어도 시술을 하면서 자기 자신을 가꾸려고 하는데 이 성형수술 자체가 대중화돼 있고요. 항상 이뻐져야 된다는 그런 강박관념이 있어요. 압박감도 굉장히 많고요. 가장 중요한 거는 여자는 이뻐야 되니까 이뻐지려고 하는 것 같아요.
That's a lot of procedures. They seem happy with their decision. But why aren't any of these women satisfied with the way they look?
Thank you for talking to us today. So what procedures are you going to get done?
코 수술이랑 여기 광대 깎는 수술이랑 이마랑 턱 지방 이식 수술을 받게 됐어요.
Why are you doing this?
화면에 나오는 일을 하고 있는데요. 너무 얼굴이 넙대대하게 나오는 것도 있고.
네, 지방 이식할 부위거든요. 한국 사람, 동양 사람들은 대부분 이렇게 갸름한 얼굴을 좋아하기 때문에 여기 광대뼈를 줄이는 수술을 할 거예요. 그리고 턱 밑에 부분은 레이저로 지방을 녹여서 제거하는 레이저 지방 흡입술을 할 거예요.
화면에 좀 이쁘게 나와야 하는데 이제 그런 점에서도 있고 평소에도 콤플렉스였어서 이렇게 수술을 결정하게 됐습니다.
요거를 이제 코끝을 코 안에 있는 연골을 가지고 높이고 여기는 실리콘 임플란트로 높일 거예요, 콧등은. 가능하면 이런 모양으로.
So she's already a very beautiful young lady.
Yes.
So even for someone like her, who's already extraordinarily beautiful, we can still improve?
이미 예쁜데, 그러니까 우리가 이렇게 봤을 때 이미 아름답지만 이렇게 성형 수술을 통해서 훨씬 더 아름다워질 수 있거든요. 그래서 이런 부분이 과하지 않게 조금씩 수술을 해서 모양을 만들어주면.
Are you a little nervous?
지금은 심정은 걱정되는 것도 많이 되는데 그만큼 기대도 많이 되고 있어요.
저는 눈이 좀 동양 사람으로서 좀 눈이 작아서 좀 큰 눈을 원했기 때문에 쌍꺼풀, 앞트임, 뒤트임하고 눈 밑 내리는 것을 했습니다.
미용 쪽 같은 경우는 아무래도 여러 셀럽이나 뭐 연예인들을 보고 비슷하게 해달라거나 아니면 그런 추세에 맞춰서 요구하는 경우들이 좀 많이 있어요.
The trend here is not only to mimic celebrity looks, but often a Western celebrity look.
They bring the celebrities' pictures. They want to change like them.
아니면 뭐 비욘세가 맞은 주사로 유명한 거가 어떤 게 이런 식으로 연예인을 직접적으로 언급하는 경우들이 많이 있어요.
That, in part, is what makes double eyelid surgery the most popular in Korea. In fact, some suggest it can be traced back to one post-World War II American physician. The surgery involves cutting the outer lid of the eyes to make them wider and rounder.
She wanted to have the bigger eye. I planned the four-direction enlargement of eyes. I made the double eyelid, and she wanted the enlargement eye. So I removed the Mongolian fold. I made the enlargement of the outer corner of eye. The lower part of the black circle is hiding, so I made this area lowered, so she had the more bigger black circles.
It looks very, very natural.
원래 저 20대 때 어렸을 때는 좀 약간 아시아의 매력이 있다라고 생각이 들었는데 나이가 들면서 좀 이제 눈이 작고 이런 부분이 좀 컴플렉스로 느껴져서 이제 제가 원했기 때문에 한 거예요. 더 사람들도 친구들도 더 이렇게 더 젊어 보이고 더 좋아하고 많은 사람들이 반응이 좋습니다.
Eyelid surgery may be the most popular, but there's so much more. Rhinoplasty is a close second, but also much larger procedures, such as a V-line jaw reduction, reshaping the entire jawline into the much-desired V shape. A near infinite choice of changing, reshaping, tinkering any part that isn't quite right.
If you can put up with the pain for at least 7 days to 2 weeks, you become prettier. Why not have a surgery?
A little bit of pain, long-term gain.
You're gonna have to face in the body for forever.
I gotta tell you, I could not believe how much this society embraces the idea of cosmetic surgery. I mean, they have no hesitation about doing it. In fact, it's incredible the degree to which they think they need to do it for career, for finding a significant other, for just their general happiness. And also there's this massive now anti-aging component to it. It's not viewed as something that's a luxury. It's almost viewed as a logical stepping stone in your life path. And the sooner you do it, the more advantages you're going to have. I think in North America, the aesthetic seems to be a little bit different, a little bit more extreme maybe. But, you know, even there, it's becoming more accepted, I think, to alter how your body looks.
There's definitely a social phenomenon where cosmetic surgery has been somewhat normalized.
Before and after.
In fact, you could go so far as to say, in some communities, it's almost viewed as a responsibility. It's something that you should do in order to be a successful individual.
These procedures are not trivial in the sense of the cost and the physical risk, and in some cases, the psychological risk.
I've never gone under. I think it's like a perfect mix of like super excited and then like scared.
They're really trying to solve the problem the way that they see it is, whatever it may be, and so they think, well, naturally, if they were to solve that issue, that they would feel better.
I wasn't really inspired by other people's big butts. I just didn't like my small one.
This is the Keller funnel. It'll be used to place the butt implant into the gluteal space.
You talk to people who've gone through these procedures, and for them, it's often the right choice. They feel like it was the right choice.
Honestly, if I regretted anything, it would probably be not going a little bit bigger because I wanted it to be like super natural.
Who wouldn't take advantage of the surgery? Why wouldn't you do it? If you're a competitive individual, you are more likely to look at cosmetic surgery in a favorable light. So it shouldn't surprise us that in places like Silicon Valley, Korea, and in New York City, where these hyper-competitive environments, you see a growth in cosmetic surgery.
It gives it a really nice silhouette, very pleasing round appearance.
But I do think we need to think about how it's going to have an impact more broadly. Are we kind of in the middle of an enhancement-driven beauty arms race?
So what have I learned? It's possible to change any part of us, to push back against the hands of time, even for just a little longer. But it's not without cost.
Going through plastic surgery is very painful and kind of a long journey for some of them. But results matters, not the process.
But what are the results?
Are you going to be happier? Are you really going to be more beautiful? Is cosmetic surgery worth it?
그렇죠. 누구든지 젊음을 유지하고 싶은 거는 뭐 저도 마찬가지일 테고.
Are you happy with the results?
뭐 주변에서도 많이 뭐 예뻐졌다 그러고 10년 젊어졌다 그러니까 저도 굉장히 만족해요. 나름대로.
예. 아주 만족하고 있습니다.
I got what I wanted. I'm more confident. I just feel better generally. It's been kind of crazy, actually, how much of a difference a butt makes.
This study found that it did increase the likability of a person. There is a beauty premium. There's this beauty bias out there. But in general, the data is pretty underwhelming. For most men and women, the improvement in looks is relatively small. This is a complex area.
We really don't know a lot about what are some of the medical consequences long term. There may be beneficial things that cosmetic surgery is doing for your brain, but there may be an effect of changing your facial muscles such that your emotional expressions are different. These are kind of open questions that we really should explore in the future.
Are there any long-term
side effects that you're worried about?
No, I mean, apart from having a great ass, not really.
That's the side effect, eh?
Yeah.
Because some of these procedures are relatively new, we even don't know how they look cosmetically, 10 years down the road or 20 years down the road.
I mean, I think my friends even asked me that. She's like, what's gonna happen if in 60 years you find out that injection is gonna make your butt fall off? And I'm like, well, for 60 years, people were looking at my butt in a good way and not in a bad way.
There's nothing we can do but wait and see what happens.
Everybody deserves to feel good about themselves right now, I think.
미에 대한 관점은 사실은 자기만족이기 때문에
They're, trying to just find themselves.
All of consumer culture is predicated on the idea that we should make ourselves feel better and that there's something lacking in who we are. Everything from toothpaste commercials to laundry detergent to cars is sold to us with the idea that we're not good enough and we have to go buy this thing or be this person in order to be good enough.
You have people being bombarded by kind of the same images of the same people, and so they're seeing that a lot more as well.
It's about creating desire, and that also plays out on the body.
Now I don't have to be part of the flat butt crew anymore.
But the desire is never ending. We'll never be good enough by that metric.
So they have these individual decisions that are being made as a result of pop culture pressure.
That's a limited set of people that they're looking at, a limited set of examples of attractiveness or beauty.
Most of the world doesn't all look like whatever this narrow standard is.
It can give people kind of the sense that, well, you either fit into this and you're attractive and you look a certain way, maybe like these celebrities, or you're not attractive.
We get caught up in the cycle where people engage in a behavior like cosmetic surgery because they think it'll make them happier. They achieve it, they're maybe happy for a little while, then their happiness level goes back to what it was before, and then they have to look for something else that they need inside themselves.
얘 재생할 부분이 있으면 계속 할 마음은 있어요.
If it's something you want and you want it as bad as I wanted it, I would definitely do it again if I went back in time and had the opportunity.
I think it's sort of a sad thing to say about our culture that is something that can make people feel empowered versus being more educated, right? Or doing community service work. But given that people really do react strongly to beauty, I do understand how people could find it empowering.
I don't think this industry is going to decrease.
여자들의 그런 이뻐지려고 하는 욕심은 끝이 없을 것 같아서 계속 성형이 유행을 할 것 같아요.
이미 전 세계적으로 이 성형수술에 대한 환자분들의 욕구는 많이 있고 그 트렌드는 전 세계가 같이 진행하는 것이라고 생각합니다.
There is going to be an increase of plastic surgeons and lots of patients who want the surgeries done.
강남구에만 1,000명 정도의 성형외과 의사가 있어요. 매우 경쟁이 심하고.
Do you see any downside to this trend?
I think the trend now in Korea is going very well. I don't see any downside of it.
Many people obsess over what they see as defects in their appearance that other people don't even see and never would notice. And I think most of us don't care what our friends look like or how much they conform to a particular ideal.
I have no problem with other people doing it, but I strive to be as happy as I can in my own skin, and so I don't think I would.
You may end up making more money or feeling better about yourself, but you're ultimately reinforcing this sort of hegemonic idea of what is beauty.
People have difficulty accepting physical changes that happen as a result of aging. Everybody is just progressing towards a senescence, and there's really, unfortunately, no stopping it.
I think it's hard for people to come to terms with their own mortality. When you look in the mirror and you start seeing wrinkles and you see the skin under your chin sag, you're faced with that reality that you're not going to be 25 for the rest of your life.
Really, the best way that they can deal with this, rather than changing their appearance, is to focus on other parts of themselves that they find valuable.
I just try and be happy with what I have and what my mama gave me.
I don't think we should judge people that make the decision to have cosmetic surgery, but I do think we need to think about how are these individual choices going to shape how we think about beauty as a society more broadly. Thanks very much.